Indeed, this is the day the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad. With hearts filled with praise and gratitude to Almighty God, we gather now for these commencement exercises honoring the graduating class of 2015. The graduating class of the Catholic University Institute of Boya. I am glad to be with you today in this city of saints and scholars. And I am so glad that you've allowed this brother to find his way home. Please allow me to express gratitude to His Excellency, Most Reverend Dr. Emmanuel Bushu, Chancellor, and to His Honor, Very Reverend Dr. George Nikezi, President and Chancellor of this august institution. On this graduation day, the great legacy of the Catholic University Institute of Boya is acknowledged and applauded. The students who receive degrees are indebted to remarkable educators and supporters of this institute who, through collaboration, devotion, sacrifice, and dedication, make it possible for graduates to achieve this milestone. To you, members of the faculty, staff, and administration, Board of Trustees, for your hard work in continuing this tradition of excellence in scholarship and entrepreneurship, thank you. Thank you so very much. Because of your outstanding leadership and extraordinary contribution in an exceptional tradition of educational excellence, the larger community is enriched and blessed. Be encouraged in carrying out the great work of CUIB. Words from the psalmist lift you and encourage you in your great work. Things that we have heard and known, that our ancestors have told us, we will not hide them from their children. We will tell to the coming generations the glorious deeds of the Lord and His might, and the wonders that He has done. Dear graduates, the day about which you dreamed for so long, the achievement for which you worked so hard is upon us. And we are pleased to be with you to share your joy. We really have such good reason to celebrate. Your record of accomplishment is exceptionally clear, but your success is not an end in itself. Your achievement is both a further summons and a greater challenge. A further summons to discover more of your gifts and blessings. A further summons to proclaim the potential and promise that life holds for you. A greater challenge to allow divine grace to work in you and through you. A greater challenge to place your gifts and blessings in service to the larger community. Your learning experience, your embrace of the foundational principles of this university require you to make efforts to shape your environment guided by faith and reason, to build upon and implement knowledge you have gained in pursuit of your degree, diploma, or certificate. The values instilled in and modeled for you, ask that you do nothing less. And so let it be known, graduates, through clear illustration and unambiguous example, that you readily and willingly accept responsible participation in creating a marvelous future for yourselves and the larger community for which you have responsibility. Let me be especially clear, graduates. You are a manifestation of the all-powerful Creator. Because the divine presence is always at hand, the greatness you seek is already present within you. Draw this presence Stir it to flame. Allow it to shape you and prepare you for all that awaits you in a marvelous future filled with hope. True education is never complete because the wisdom of experience augments fresh ideas, because lessons from history enhance youthful energy. This hope-filled hour of celebration unites every one of us in the challenge of using the collective wisdom and knowledge of this community in ways that enable us to create opportunities and realize goals that we set for ourselves. Power, determination, and victory depend not on what another does for us, but rather on what we do for ourselves. This community is not without marvelous resources. Our community anywhere is not without marvelous resources, either here on the continent of Africa or in the diaspora. We must neither be ignorant about who we are, nor about what we can do with what we have available to us. We know that when people work together, even when resources are limited, possibilities are limitless. Look around and see for yourselves. This planet needs a better worldview of itself, a humanity that you graduates can provide. And so the work needed to create a better world requires and challenges us all to look at our history, our cultural legacy, our intellectual perspective, and bring forth marvelous treasures. Knowledge and strength can be gained from things which our parents endured, struggled with, conquered, and survived. And this great wealth, this great power is passed on to us in our blood. For when we are detached and distanced from the knowledge of who we are also detached and distanced from our true potential. Tragically, following the lead of so-called friends, believing in the promises of those who do not have our best interests at heart, we fail to grasp lessons from our culture, who we are, whose we are, from where we have come, what our people have done and continue to do. Let us be clear that it is our task to humanize the world, not to become other demons that oppress and destroy. Education leads out of. Therefore, graduates, allow those wonderful things within you to emerge and to bless your lives and bless the lives of our brothers and sisters. Life clearly presents challenges, no doubt about it. There are weapons of mass destruction and mass distraction aimed at you. Among them are negative portrayal in the media, omission of essential truths about our historical accomplishments, fantasies of incorporation into current events. The employment of these social weapons is increasingly more sophisticated, more refined, and more effective. And we must challenge them with our discovery and understanding of the true truth of who we are and that of which we are capable. We must never be afraid to ask why things are the way they are. Do not forget the omnipotence of the Creator of the universe, who is alive and at work in you. And so you can aim for perfection. You are able to strive to be better. The education you receive teaches you to question, to assess, to research. Therefore, graduates, do not stand by quietly and let any one of us buy into systems designed to destroy and devastate. As we have responsibility for you, you have responsibility for us. Remember, there is no you and me. It is only we and us. Let us then continue to relearn, readopt, and readapt lessons from our history and culture, grasped as able warriors, as expert traders, as skillful thinkers, as strong family men and women. When we make this effort, we better appreciate the clear and present need for authentic leadership and real entrepreneurship. We will then unequivocally address issues with which we must deal and meet head-on harmful attitudes and behaviors that divide and destroy us and those whom we care about. Members of the class of 2015, it is your responsibility to confront those things that keep dreams deferred. The old stance of counting on the goodwill or commitment to justice of someone else no longer suffices. With clear vision and trust in the Creator, together we must act in humble confidence that we can make decisive, positive change in our situation and circumstance. Graduates, your educational experience does not permit you to embrace destructive patterns of living, nor downplay relentless social and economic exploitation with which many of us and our brothers and sisters must deal. In a common effort, we must work to break apart chains that still bind us, throw off attitudes that impede our potential. For if we recognize and face these destructive elements and their implications, we can challenge them, we can uproot them, and we can move beyond them. But it takes courage, determination, and perseverance. What I am saying is, we must be the subject, not the object, of what happens in our community. For if we stand straight, no one can ride our backs. To be clear, we must not hate anyone. In the end, hate will only degrade and destroy us. But we must be clear about who are our true allies, and we must be watchful about their purpose. It only makes good business sense. Education prepares us to carry out insightful SWOT analyses so that we know where strengths, weakness, opportunities, and threats lie. We must be able to collaborate with each other and other authentic leaders in formulating an unambiguous set of goals, a clear vision beneficial to the community wherein you choose to live and work. Without a specific roadmap that shows you how to convert rhetoric to action, how to bridge the gap between talking without walking, how to use human commitment and financial resources sensibly and wisely, you will not advance an intellectual and cultural development in our community. You will not establish and maintain economically successful businesses. And we as a people will not develop, focus, and wield our power in the best interest of our people. Remember, graduates, it is we and us, not I and me. Without question, our history illustrates when and where we have been weak and ineffective. And at the same time, these very annals show us how, through hard work and perseverance, we can become vibrant, potent, and effective once more. Knowing the truth about our own historical circumstances, the tragedies and the triumphs, the catastrophes and the successes, will enable us to thoroughly consider and better prepare for what awaits us. But we must know ourselves, the how and the why, where we have been as a people, how promise is an enduring part of our story, where we are presently in the progression of history. These considerations put us on course to achieve our purpose, to catch a glimpse of what we have yet to accomplish, to strive for that for which we must still reach, to work for that which is yet to be. Therefore, let us be fully aware that the leadership that you are called to exercise requires us to work together to build powerful networks of people and institutions able to produce goods and services that respond to our needs and the true needs of our brothers and sisters. This means that we must participate in and invest in economic opportunities that provide entrepreneurial enterprises that increase our sense of self-worth. We must also build strategic alliances with each other to enhance the wealth and power within our community through greater retained earnings, whereby we save and expand economic holdings in order to have accumulated capital and assets necessary to fund resources of importance to us. For only then will we be able to create, define, promote, and sustain relationships that serve our best interests. Again, this is hard work, and so we must draw into ourselves strength from those who have done it before in order to greet opportunities that lie ahead for us. Far too many of us only recognize the power of things that hold us captive, failing to recognize the full extent of our strength. So easily we forget our God is able, that the Creator is still at work within us. Words from sacred scripture urge all of us on, from Thessalonians. So then, be not like so many others who are asleep. Rather be awake and sober and serious. And so what is the basic message that I'm trying to convey to you today? Wherever you go, know and understand who you are through the prism of our culture. You are beloved, marvelous, intelligent, imaginative, inspiring, industrious, and creative. You are images of the divine, who is perfect in every way. As the Creator has loved you into being, so now you must love yourselves and our brothers and sisters in ways that we all come to realize that we really have value. In other words, graduates, show us ways up and out of situations that yet hold us captive. This entrepreneurial university engages its students in ideas of vocation, faith and reason, spirituality of work, principles of Catholic social teaching, the cardinal and theological virtues, and social responsibilities, all of which are meant to move them to a higher understanding of and relationship with God. Graduates, in order to carry out this important work, you must be able to think, plan, analyze, speak, and act. For this reason, you have been provided a well-rounded education with exposure to many disciplines: theology, sociology, mathematics, science, economics, fine arts, and language. Without knowledge learned from our culture and a familiarity with these and other disciplines, business enterprises that you initiate can be used to manipulate, oppress, and destroy. You now understand the important distinction between wealth and money, ethics as an essential component in business affairs, the requirements that justice and fairness demand, deeper spiritual consciousness enables you to understand that just because you can perform a particular function does not mean that you should. Because of the ease with which people interact and collaborate today, you will encounter individuals across the planet who do not believe that everyone has the fundamental right to life and to the basic necessities of life: food, clothing, housing, economic well-being, educational instruction, safe surroundings, and medical and health care. Surely you understand from your education here of the need for you to challenge such behavior and ideas, to work for true peace and justice, to expose masquerades of injustice. Never be fearful in asking appropriate questions in order to make sound ethical choices. And questions will become even more complex as the world continues to evolve and change. Issues in social justice will present themselves in the businesses that you begin. While not eliminating freedom of opinion, you must instruct and illuminate consciences so that actions faithfully promote the dignity of the human person and truly serve the common good. Sound ethical practices must be an essential component of every entrepreneurial activity. The greatest among you must care for and serve the rest. Take a lesson from other great leaders. They were ones who put forth the effort to reconcile varied factions to deal with community problems, ones who refused to be manipulated, ones who chose to be instruments through whom the Creator is revealed. And so graduates, take your cue from their example. Understand and embrace the power that is within you. Meet every problem with a proposed solution. You know that business adventures are not undertaken just to obtain money, though this is an important aspect. Looking deeper, business enterprise is about making and having needed assets and resources available to the community so that its members can realize their true potential and achieve the goals they set for themselves, thus becoming who and what the Creator intended from the beginning. Though this may seem like idealistic rhetoric, let us remember that most structures are idealistic in nature and imperfect in performance. In idealism, we visualize what we believe is the way things ought to be, the future we hope to create for ourselves and those we love. Clearly, we know that Christianity, democracy, socialism are not perfectly lived realities, and yet we do not abandon them. We work with what we have, strive to correct flaws, and hope to reach perfection in our adoption of them. And so, dear graduates, what is now is but a dream, the seed but not the fruit. Reaching back, we must bring forth what is ours, not something someone gave to us or something we begged, borrowed, or stole. We believe in resurrection from the dead. And so, reuniting the spirit with our bodies, we come together today to reconnect with our past. We understand that together, tapping into the wisdom of our great past, using the new knowledge this institution provides, we are now able to build, develop, and transform our community. The question, graduates, you must ask of yourselves, how do you know if you're using your education well, if you're living up to the requirements of authentic leadership? The barometer is and always will be the blessing that you are and the benefits that you bring to your community. You are here today because of sacrifices and dedication of other people on whose shoulders you stand. Rather than allowing your gifts to lay dormant, bring your knowledge, skill, and treasure and place them in service to your brothers and sisters. Remember, you need no one else's permission to use your God-given talents. Go forth then from this place with determination to translate your belief into action. For you, there is no turning back now. Your path is only onward, further ahead, out into the open, forward, straight on. Again, this morning, the scripture speaks to you. Put out into the deep and lower your nets. You must leave the familiar and move to that place where God will show himself to be Father, provider, friend, where darkness will fly away. So, graduates, use your weakness and allow God's grace to transform you. Faith is not for those who play it safe, nor is faith for the weak of heart. Faith is for risk takers. Out in the dark, in the future is frightening and uncertain, but God is there, the very same God who said to our parents, I will make a way out of no way. I am a rock in a weary land. And so, dear graduates, no longer let us, any one of us, delude ourselves by adopting a wait-and-see attitude where we do nothing until forces of oppression die out. When they die out, others will move in. Again, the scriptures, put out into the deep and lower your nets. Members of the graduating class of 2015, go forth to create and claim the bright future that is your heritage. God's generous blessing be upon you always, and may angels attend you on your way. God bless you.